British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is battling another scandal this morning. This time, a female journalist has accused him of inappropriately touching her 2 decades ago. It's not the only headline about his personal life that has surfaced, and he continues, of course, on the other hand, to struggle with the Brexit crisis. Alana Petrov is with us in our London bureau. Our welcome to the CBC News Network to Alana. Nice to have you this morning. And on this latest Boris Johnson story, let's go through this latest allegation against him, Alana.
So, Heather, a female journalist and columnist here in the UK has accused Mr. Johnson of inappropriate groping back in the 90s. Charlotte Edwards says that when Mr. Johnson was editor of the Spectator magazine, she went to a boozy lunch and sat next to him. And here's how she phrased the encounter in a column that she wrote. Quote, "Under the table, I feel Johnson's hand on my thigh and he gives it a squeeze. His hand is high up my leg and he has enough inner flesh beneath his fingers to make me sit suddenly upright." Edwards says she confided in another woman who was sitting on his other side at this lunch, and the woman said he did the exact same thing to her. So in a tweet, she referred to Mr. Johnson, the Prime Minister here, with the hashtag double thigh squeezer. This isn't the only story circulating right now about inappropriate behavior. There are reports circulating that Mr. Johnson had a conflict of interest when he was giving public money to a female entrepreneur, and he was reportedly having an affair with her. A spokesperson for the Prime Minister has denied the journalist's allegations. The Conservative Party is in an awkward position with this for sure.
For sure. I mean, veering into his personal life at a time when he has more than his hands full with politics. He's trying to bolster his position at the party's annual conference. We're just a month away from the Brexit deadline. What are party members saying about these latest situations, Alana?
So there's a party conference going on right now in Manchester, and some senior members there have tried to say that this is a personal matter, and many have said that the issue is irrelevant. The finance minister, Sajid Javid, was on the BBC today, this morning on the radio, and he tried to avoid the issue, but he ultimately was forced to say. He spoke to the Prime Minister about these different issues, and the Prime Minister says the claims are untrue. As you know, I mentioned before, the Prime Minister's office says the claims are untrue. So it's a very difficult position for them to be in with just a month to the Brexit deadline. And there's been calls for Johnson to resign. And now this, it's a very tricky situation to be in for everyone.
Certainly is, and you'll be watching it for us this week. Thank you, Alana Petrov, in our bureau there in London.